Okay.
Sudha, 24-year-old female, working as a homemaker, hailing from Saidapet, was unmarried and belonging to the lower middle class. She came with the chief complaints of, next slide please. She came with the chief complaints of heavy menstrual flow for the past 6 months and pain in the lower abdomen during menstruation for the past 6 months.
Okay. What is that called? Pain in the lower abdomen during menstruation. What is it called?
Ma'am,
The previous slide. Go to the previous slide. Yes. Okay. What is this
dysmenorrhea,
pain in
ma'am.
the lower abdomen called during menstruation? What is the terminology?
Dysmenorrhea.
Dysmenorrhea. Yeah. What are the types of dysmenorrhea?
Ma'am, it's usually divided into spasmodic dysmenorrhea and congestive dysmenorrhea.
Tell me some
Spas-
examples of spasmodic dysmenorrhea.
Spasmodic is when the pain starts at menstruation and it's due to the release of prostaglandin F2 alpha. And it usually occurs during ovulatory cycles, ma'am. It's like a normal
No,
ovulatory cycle.
what is the pattern in spasmodic dysmenorrhea?
It
When does
starts
it
during
start?
menstruation and it subsides by the second day of menstruation.
Okay. Okay. Tell me
And
some examples of spasmodic dysmenorrhea.
spasmodic is when there's ovulatory cycles
Yes.
and
What will you think of if the patient has a typical history like this? On the start of menstruation, she has pain and then subsides on the second day. What all lesions can cause spasmodic dysmenorrhea?
not sure, ma'am.
Okay. How about congestive dysmenorrhea? What is the pattern?
Congestive dysmenorrhea is pain before menstruation and during menstruation, and it indicates a pelvic pathology, ma'am.
Okay. Give
So
me
anything like
examples of congestive.
endometriosis,
Okay.
fibroid uterus
Mm.
can cause painful menstruation.
Anything else? You told only endometriosis and fibroid.
Adenomyosis.
Okay.
Then pelvic inflammatory disorder can also cause painful menstruation, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, same way, spasmodic dysmenorrhea is mainly due to some lesion in the uterus. Some space occupying lesion in the uterus will cause spasmodic dysmenorrhea. Okay.
Okay,
Like it
ma'am.
can be a polyp, it can be a fibroid. Okay. It can be a say endometrium,
Okay, ma'am.
adenomyosis. All this will cause spasmodic dysmenorrhea because the uterus is contracting. It will try to expel whatever is there inside. No, even IUCD will cause spasmodic dysmenorrhea, any form of it. Okay, anything
Okay.
in the uterus will cause spasmodic dysmenorrhea. Whereas congestion, as the name suggests, there is congestion of the pelvic vascularity. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why the pain will be starting even before menstruation, where there is an increased blood flow to the pelvic organs, right? So, what
Yes,
all
ma'am.
will cause increased blood flow to the pelvic organs? It can be a pelvic inflammatory disease, endometriosis, okay, and then
Okay.
fibroid adenomyosis, endometrial CA, and all that, right? So, that is congestive dysmenorrhea. Now, clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next slide. Yes? Okay.
History of presenting illness. Patient was apparently normal 6 months back, and later she developed prolonged and heavy menstrual bleeding during her cyclical menses, which lasted for 8 to 9 days. She used to change 6 fully soaked pads per day, compared to previous cycles of 3 to 4 days, requiring 2 to 3 pads per day. She complains of waking up in the night to change her pads, and it's associated with the passage of clots. She complains of pain in the lower abdomen for the past 6 months during menstruation. The pain appears a few days before menstruation, maximizes at the beginning, and subsides after menstruation.
So, what is the type of dysmenorrhea here?
Here it looks like congestive
It looks
dysmenorrhea.
like congestive dysmenorrhea. So from the
Yes.
history itself, we can find out what is the illness of the patient, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now this, how will you find out whether this blood loss is heavy or not? What is a fully soaked pad you have told, no, per day? What
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
content of a fully soaked pad and what is the normal menstrual blood loss?
One pad usually contains 15 ml of it's fully soaked, ma'am.
Okay. So
So
this is
here the
right.
Yeah.
So here she's
So
changing about three pads, which will be around 45 to 50 ml, is it not? What is a
yes,
normal
ma'am.
menstrual loss?
Normal should be like 50 to less than 80 ml for one whole cycle, ma'am. So
Okay.
it's
Normally
abnormal.
it is 50 to 80 ml. So
Ml.
this being about roughly 45 ml per day, actually it is going to be heavy only, is it not?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
some patients, even normal bleeding, they'll say it is increased bleeding. So we have to assess whether she's really having excessive bleeding, right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
next.
The pain is intermittent and dull aching, and it radiates to the back and thigh, and it's relieved on medications. No history of post or and pre-menstrual bleeding, no history of intermenstrual bleeding, no history of bleeding from other sites, no history of amenorrhea before the period, no history of mass per abdomen, no history of burning menstruation or increased urinary frequency, no history of difficulty of passage of stools, and no history of loss of appetite or significant weight loss.
Wait 1 minute, okay? So this patient, you are talking about postcoital bleeding. What does postcoital bleeding mean?
Postcoital is after intercourse, they experience some bleeding, mom.
What is it typical of? What will you suspect if the patient has a postcoital bleeding?
Mom, in India, I would suspect cancer cervix, mom, since it's like,
Right.
uh,
But your patient is an unmarried patient. Why did you ask
yes,
for
mom.
postcoital bleeding?
Because we have to ask if there was history of any, even though she's unmarried, we still have to ask if she had like any history of intercourse, mom.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, go on. Why did you ask for this loss of weight and loss of appetite?
To rule out malignancy, any malignancies, we ask for
At
appetite.
24 years, will you think of malignancy or something else?
No, mom. Usually, we don't think of malignancy.
So what will you think of? Yes, your history is right, but why did you ask for the weight loss?
Weight loss, maybe because of increased blood loss, she can have some kind of weight loss, mom.
No, doctor. Anemia will not cause weight loss to that extent, no. Your mind, which will also cause heavy menstrual bleeding, which is common in India.
Hmm.
Yes. Anybody else? Who are the other people? Nobody is. I asked three, four girls to Kausalya A. Why did you again unmute your video? Yes.
Is it thyroid disorder?
No. Tuberculosis, is it not?
Okay.
Tuberculosis is one infection which is common in India and it can also cause menstrual disturbances, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Why did you ask for history of amenorrhea before periods? What does it indicate?
Mom, since she's a reproductive age female, I wanted to rule out if there was like any pregnancy related problems, mom.
Doctor, again and again, you told me
She's
24
unmarried.
years unmarried.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They said that you have to stick on to your patient's age, the marital status, and all that before telling about all this, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
It can
So,
also be metropathia hemorrhagica.
yes, that's what I wanted. That is the reply I wanted, not pregnancy complications. Okay. This same lady, if she's married and then she has amenorrhea followed by excessive bleeding, then you can think of pregnancy complications. Otherwise, mostly unmarried, our culture is not that bad, I think. Okay. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So amenorrhea, usually in cases of metropathia hemorrhagica, they can have a period of amenorrhea followed by excessive bleeding. Okay, that's why we ask for this history of amenorrhea, right? It should be
Yes,
related
ma'am.
to your patient. You should not talk things unrelated to your patient, right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
go on.
Next slide. Menstrual history, age of menarche was at 15 years. The LMP was 4/7/2021. The past cycles were 3 to 4 days, regular, normal flow, no dysmenorrhea, using 2 to 3 pads per day. The cycle length was 29 to 31 days. There's no passage of clots and no history of dysmenorrhea. Present cycles were 8 to 9 days regular. Passage of clots were present. There was dysmenorrhea and she used 6 to 7 pads per day. Cycle length was 29 to 31 days.
Okay, what is a menstrual calendar?
Menstrual calendar is what the patient has to keep a record of when she had her cycles, mom.
Okay. How does she plot on the menstrual calendar?
When was her first day of menses?
Hmm.
How many days she had bleeding,
Hmm.
and
Hmm. One minute.
என் ஹஸ்பண்ட்கிட்ட கேட்டேன் அவங்க எக்ஸ்ரே இல்லாமல் கொடுக்க முடியாது ஏன்னா டைப் 1 டைப் 2 டைப் 3 டைப் 4 ஆர்த்தரைட்டிஸ்ன்னு இருக்கான் உங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ஆர்த்தரைட்டிஸ்ன்னு இருக்குன்னு தெரிஞ்சாதான் கொடுக்க முடியுமா அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி தான் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் அவர் அன்னைக்கே நான் கேட்டுட்டேன் பட் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்ல முடியல 2 நாள் லீவு நாங்கள் ஆனால் நேரில் பார்த்து சொல்லிட்டு போகிறேன் எக்ஸ்ரே எடுத்து அனுப்ப சொன்னார் வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் பார்த்துட்டு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் சொல்கிறேன் தேங்க்யூ
Hello?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, menstrual calendar. So, see, sometimes all these young girls, the mother brings them with excessive bleeding, might not be bleeding, okay? It might be a normal bleeding. So, we have to ask them to make a menstrual calendar where the patient plots the first day of menstruation, the number of days, the number of pads, and the duration. Okay. So, for a heavy menstrual bleeding, to call it a heavy menstrual bleeding, what are the criteria?
One is the increased number of pads, ma'am, more than 80 ml of blood
Yes, no,
loss.
the quantity of the bleeding is important.
Yes,
And the
ma'am. And
duration
then
of the
more
bleeding.
number of days. And if there's passage of clots, also we say it's heavy bleeding, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what. So the duration is important, the quantity is important, the frequency is important. Okay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And whether it is cyclical or acyclical. All this has to be told, right?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
previous terminology was menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, and all that. But now we have the palm coin. No?
Yes, ma'am.
What is palm coin?
Palm coin is P for polyp, A for adenomyosis, L for leiomyoma or fibroid, M for malignancy and hyperplasia, and coin is
So
non-structural
all this is
causes,
structural. Okay,
structural
all this is
causes.
structural.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And coin is non-structural, C is coagulopathy, O is ovulatory dysfunction, E is endometrial causes, I is iatrogenic, and N is not yet classified.
So this is how we do the classification now. So if it is a polyp, we put it as AUBP, and if it's a leoma, we put it as AUBL.
L.
Okay. So what are the types of leiomyoma? Leiomyomas are the common causes of AUB, isn't it? What are
Yes.
the types which will cause menorrhagia or heavy menstrual bleeding?
Submucosal or
Yes.
intramural, subserosal, and pedunculated.
Subserous will cause menorrhagia, is it?
No, ma'am. Usually no. Intramural
That's
and
fine.
yes,
Yes, that's why we are more bothered about the submucosal variety, which will be the cause of heavy menstrual bleeding, and intramural sometimes, but subserous will not cause excessive bleeding. Okay,
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
right. Next slide.
Past history. There was no history of any medical interventions, no history of surgeries, and no history of diabetes mellitus, hypertension, tuberculosis, asthma, epilepsy, or thyroid disorders. Next slide, please. Family history. There was no history of any similar complaints in the family, no history of any bleeding disorders, and no history of malignancies.
If the patient has a bleeding disorder, what all history will you ask?
I'll ask history from any other sites, mom, like epistaxis or increased bleeding if she had undergone like some procedure, like a dental procedure, and she had increased bleeding. And along with that, she'll have heavy menses also.
Okay. Anything else in the physical examination, general examination, what all will you look for?
I'll look for anemia, pallor, mom.
Then? Then? Hello? சொல்லுங்க சொல்லுங்க ஆமாம் மிக்ஸ்டா அந்த 70-30 ஆமாம் இல்லை ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் பண்ணணும் ஃபுல் பென்
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, doctor. Yes, where were we? What were we discussing, doctor?
Bleeding
General
disorder, ma'am.
examination. Yeah, general examination. What all will you look for?
Pallor to check if anemia is present,
The
ma'am.
pallor you have already told.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, will she have any petechial hemorrhages, spots,
Yes,
blanches?
ma'am. Bleeding
All
disorder
that.
shall have
So
petechial.
all that we have to look for in the general examination. Okay,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go on.
Personal history. The patient is a non-vegetarian. Her appetite is normal. Bowel and bladder habits are normal. There is adequate sleep. There's no history of any adverse social effects and no history of contraceptive use.
What contraceptives will cause
Ma'am,
anorexia?
if she has history of taking OCPs and she's not putting it properly on the proper days, she can have menorrhagia.
That
And
will
if she
be
has,
menorrhagia or
it'll
withdrawal.
be irregular. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
It will
Withdrawal
be a
bleeding.
withdrawal bleeding, which is not heavy. Okay,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
might have intermenstrual bleeding or withdrawal bleeding and all that, right? What
Yes,
else?
ma'am.
What else will cause
Uh,
anorexia?
IUD insertion may cause
Yes. So IUCD are the ones which will cause heavy menstrual bleeding. Okay,
bleeding.
whereas all the other pills and all that, because they have progesterone, the chances of heavy menstrual bleeding is less. Is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Oh, go on.
Summary, Miss Sudha, 23-year-old belonging to lower middle class, came with complaints of menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea for the past 6 months. With the given complaints, I would like to proceed with examination. General examination. Patient is conscious, cooperative, and oriented to time, place, and person. She is moderately built and moderately nourished. Her weight is 52 kg, her height is 156 centimeter, and her BMI is 21.3 kg per meter square. Pallor was present. There was no icterus, no cyanosis, no clubbing, no generalized lymphadenopathy, and no generalized edema. Her vitals were a
See, that is
pulse.
where, see, that is where you have to look out for the coagulopathies also. So you have to mention about all the petechial spots and all that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It might be a it should be the leading point for your diagnosis, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Yes.
Vitals, a pulse rate of 72 beats per minute. BP was 118/78 mm of Hg. Respiratory rate was 18 breaths per minute, and she was afebrile. Abdominal examination. Inspection. The shape of the abdomen is normal. The position of umbilicus is central and inverted. The corresponding areas move equally with respiration. There were no scars, sinuses, or dilated veins, and the hornial orifices were intact. Palpation. There was no warmth. Tenderness was present in the iliac region on both sides. There was no palpable mass and no organomegaly. Percussion, tympanic note was heard. There was liver dullness on the right fifth intercostal space, and auscultation, bowel sounds were heard. Other systems, CVS S1, S2 heard, no murmurs. RS, normal vesicular breath sounds and no added sounds. And CNS, there was no focal neurological deficit.
If she has a murmur, what sort of murmur she can have? You said in general examination, pallor plus, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Anemia will cause, severe anemia will cause what type of murmur?
Hemic murmur.
Anemic murmur.
Anemic
Okay.
murmur.
Is it systolic or diastolic? Yes, they're just flow murmurs, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Due to the hyperdynamic circulation, they can have flow murmurs, which is usually systolic, right?
Okay, ma'am.
The grade is less than 3.6. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, doctor. Go on.
Provisional diagnosis. A 26-year-old lady came with chief complaints of menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea for the past 6 months, with tenderness in the iliac region on both sides. Is a case of abnormal uterine bleeding for further evaluation, probably an AUBO case.
Why do you say O?
Because there was no positive abdominal examination findings, ma'am.
Why she can have a small fibroid, the uterus can be still intra-pelvic and she can have the excessive bleeding, no?
Yeah, ma'am, she can.
No, how did you come to the diagnosis of AUBO?
Because of her age, I thought it would be probably be AUVO, ma'am.
No, that's why you should just tell AUB for evaluation because we have to do all the investigations, no?
Yes,
Without
ma'am.
doing the investigations, how can we jump up to the diagnosis?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Why did you think it is ovary, doctor?
Ovulatory dysfunction, ma'am, because
Hmm.
since there was no positive findings, I thought it would be AUVO, ma'am.
That's what. Ovulatory, you should have some evidence for the ovulatory, no? What tumors of the ovary will cause? See, HPO axis immaturity, by now it should have gone because she's having menarche since when? More than 10 years, no?
16. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. So you think it is HPO immaturity? The same
No,
girls
ma'am.
say 18 or 16 or 17, you can think of HPO axis
Yes, ma'am.
immaturity, which is the cause. Okay, right. What are the other ovulatory causes?
It can be PCOS, ma'am.
Okay, PCOS. You said there's no amenorrhea. She's not obese.
Yes, ma'am.
What all are your points for PCOS here?
There was no amenorrhea before bleeding,
Okay.
and she was not overweight. She had a normal BMI,
Yeah. Okay.
and
You didn't talk about hirsutism, acne, all that. PCOS, they'll present in a typical manner, is it not? They'll be
yes, ma'am.
overweight, obesity. The triad is always there, obesity, amenorrhea, and infertility, is it not?
Okay.
And all the hyperandrogenic features like hirsutism, acne, all that will be there. Is it not? If this is going to be PCOS, I don't think she's a case of PCOS. Do you think it's a case of PCOS?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Then what else in the ovary will cause AUB? Yes.
Um,
Hmm. So she's not PCOS. She's not HPO axis in immaturity. Then about the tumors, ovarian,
tumors, but she's young age, ma'am, so it's
young
probably
age because you get only the feminizing tumors which will cause excessive bleeding. Is it not? Which is not
yes, ma'am.
common in this age group. This age group more of germ cell tumors. Is it not? We don't have
Yes, ma'am.
feminizing tumors. And adrenal also is not that common, is it not?
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
Right. So you should say AUB for evaluation. You cannot jump to the conclusion of ovary. Okay.
Okay.
You should have points in favor of ovary. Only then you can tell it is AUBO. Otherwise, unless you finish the investigation, you have not even done a pervaginal examination. And how can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
say it is ovulatory? It is difficult. Okay. So unless we do the examination and the other investigations, we cannot come to a conclusion of what is the probable etiological cause, right? Okay.
Yes,
How I
ma'am.
will proceed now? Yes?
Investigations,
Okay.
general investigations.
Before investigations, we have to do a speculum and a pervaginal examination, is it not?
Yes,
Though
ma'am,
you,
but this
though
patient
you
was unmarried, ma'am. So can we do all those exams?
we can do a per rectal examination, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Right? Always for
Yes,
any case, for that matter, for a gynec case, though you're not allowed to do a PD and a speculum examination, we have to tell that at least we'll have to do a per rectal
rectal.
examination for this patient to find out the size of the uterus, is it not? With PR, we
Yes,
can find out the size of the uterus, right?
okay, ma'am.
Okay.
General investigations done, CBC, differential count, hemoglobin and platelets, bleeding time, clotting time, coagulation profile, and thyroid function tests. And the specific would be transabdominal ultrasound. And endometrial aspiration, I wasn't sure, ma'am, because again, she's an unmarried female,
Yes.
so
So we will not do,
do yes, ma'am.
because we cannot do a speculum examination. You cannot do a endometrial aspiration also.
Okay.
Yeah. So for this patient, you cannot do a endometrial aspiration. So how in ultrasonogram you can find out? What all will you see in the ultrasonogram?
Ma'am, we can see if there's a polyp, if there's a fibroid uterus, and if there's any like generalized thickening, which can be
Yes, the thickening is very important. Okay.
hyperplasia.
Yes, if there's the hyperplasia, then we know there is unopposed estrogenic function, hyperestrogenism. Okay,
Yes,
so the endometrial thickness is very, very important. Being an unmarried patient, okay, the
yes,
endometrial
ma'am.
thickness and any lesions in the uterus can be found out with ultrasonogram. And as you told, the anorexia can also be visualized.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so the ovarian thing can be visualized. Then any lesion in the uterus, a polyp or a fibroid,
Fibroid,
the endometrial thickness will give you whether she has a endometrial hyperplasia.
hyperplasia.
Okay, so all this you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
find out with an ultrasonogram. Right. Next, what are you going to do for this patient?
Next slide. We have to correct the anemia with iron tablets, ma'am. We give NSAIDs for pain management. In this patient, I would give mefenamic acid 500 mg TID. And we can first try tranexamic acid. And if the bleeding is still continued, then we can try hormonal pills, OTP, ma'am.
Okay, for this patient. Supposing the
Yes.
same patient is a reproductive age group. So in the you connected the two. Okay. So normally in the perimenopausal age group, what are the common causes?
Perimenopausal. It can be anovulatory bleeding, ma'am. Pre-malignant or malignant conditions can be, ma'am.
Okay, doctor, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the reproductive age group, what are the common causes of AUB? Heavy menstrual
In,
bleeding.
in reproductive, it can be pregnancy-related complications, ma'am.
Oh,
Then
sorry, not in the reproductive, doctor. Adolescent age
perimenopause.
group.
Oh, adolescent, ma'am. It can be HPO axis immaturity.
Okay.
Then it could be any coagulation disorder,
Okay.
and then any thyroid dysfunction can cause
Okay.
bleeding.
Mm. Then
Then
PCOS, is it not? PCOS
PCOD, yes, ma'am.
and
Ovarian tumor can
very
cause.
rare. Ovarian
Yes,
tumors are
ma'am.
very rare. And
Then
tuberculosis.
tuberculosis.
See,
Yes, ma'am.
tuberculosis should always, you should keep in mind. Okay, tuberculosis endometritis is common in our
Yes, ma'am.
country, right? Okay. So investigation part, as you told, the general investigations and the ultrasonogram will tell you most of the diagnosis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And management, you have to first
Mal-
do a menstrual calendar, counsel the patient, as you have rightly told, treat the anemia, and then if it is, then you have to go for antifibrinolytics. Okay,
Yes,
depending
ma'am.
on whether it is painful or painless, we have to plan. Okay, so from the
Yes, ma'am.
history, how will you find out whether it is a ovular bleeding or anovular bleeding? What all indicates it's ovular and what all indicates it's an anovular bleeding?
Ovulatory bleeding is usually painful, ma'am, and anovulatory is usually painless
Okay,
periods.
okay, then
Um,
yes, the regularity is it not?
yes,
Ovular
ma'am.
bleeding will be,
Ovulatory will be like
anovulatory will be irregular. Okay,
irregular.
then
Yes,
what are
ma'am.
mittelschmer's pain?
Pain during ovulatory time. There can also be some spotting also, ma'am, during the
Okay.
ovulatory.
Okay. That is
Yes,
one evidence of ovulation. No, when the patient has a
yes, ma'am.
little tremors or mid-menstrual pain, then it indicates ovular bleeding. Then,
Ovulation.
what is premenstrual syndrome?
PMS is when patient gets like moody before the onset of menstruation, ma'am. She can
So
have
all this breast tenderness and all that indicates it is a ovular bleeding.
ovulatory cycle.
Okay. So
Yes,
all
ma'am.
this history you should ask whether
Yes,
she
ma'am.
has mittelschmer's pain, whether she has premenstrual mastalgia, and all that. All this will direct you towards the diagnosis of
Yes, ma'am.
ovular dysfunction.
Bleeding.
Okay, otherwise it will be anovulatory, right? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
like if the patient has a PCOS or all that, there's high chance of hypothyroidism, PCOS, and all this will cause anovular bleeding, which is painless. Okay, because
Yes,
there's no
ma'am.
ovulation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but treatment modality depends on that,
Okay, ma'am.
right? If it is ovulatory, then we know the HPO axis is functioning properly. There we will not go and give hormones, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll have to have symptomatic management for these patients where we'll just go with counseling, treatment of anemia, then
Antifibrinolytics.
antifibrinolytics. Okay, with
Yes,
this
ma'am.
itself it will be controlled.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then if you feel that it is anovulatory, then we'll have to go for hormone therapy.
OCP. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are the hormones? Medical management. What are the hormones which can be used?
Medroxyprogesterone acetate, ma'am.
Okay,
Then we can give norethistrone acetate as
so
well.
you have various progesterones. How will you give the progesterone?
It can usually we give it oral dose, ma'am. So we give it first. We have to give it until the bleeding stops. We have to give 30
What
mg
is
until
medical
bleeding.
curettage?
Medical curettage is when you give progesterone to clean out the endometrium, ma'am. It causes endometrial shedding, so it's called medical
Okay. How
curettage.
it's given?
First, you have to give 30 mg of medroxyprogesterone acetate, ma'am, for 24 hours until the bleeding stops. And then you
Mm.
have to reduce it to 10 mg twice a day and then 10 mg once a day for 21 days, for 21 days, ma'am. And then after that, you get withdrawal bleeding. And that whole process is known as medical curettage.
Okay, this is called medical curettage, right?
Yes.
If she is not compliant with you, she's telling, I don't want drugs daily, I cannot
Yes,
take for
ma'am.
21 days, what will you do?
We can give a DMPA injection, ma'am.
DMPA injection, or you want to give progesterone for a short course, only the secretory phase? Okay.
POPs, ma'am.
Yeah.
Progesterone only pills can be given.
Doctor, see, medical curettage is for the first cycle, okay, where you give
Yes,
it
ma'am.
for a period of 21 days. You know that progesterone will have side effects, is it not? What all side effects
Yes,
the
ma'am.
progesterone will have?
It causes pseudo pregnancy side effects, ma'am. So the patient can have water retention or breast enlargement and all those
Yeah, all
symptoms.
this. Okay, weight,
Yes.
weight. She'll have a bloated
Weight
sensation
gain.
and all that.
Yeah.
Some patients are not comfortable with this, is it not? So
Yes,
they
ma'am.
cannot take for a period of 21 days. So we can, for such sort of patients, they come back and say, I will not take the tablets for so many days. Can you cut
Mm.
short the tablets? So then what do you do? You can cover only the secretory phase. It is mainly
Okay.
the progesterone which is deficient, is it not?
Yes,
There
ma'am.
is unopposed hyperestrogenism, and
Estrogen
that
action.
is the reason why she's having a heavy menstrual bleeding, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Nanovular cycles. So we can cover the last 10 days of the cycle, the secretory phase, which is constant, is it not? For 14 days, we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
just give progesterone on OD for the last, from the 16th to the 25th day of the cycle, right?
Okay, ma'am. Yes,
For
ma'am.
6 months. Okay. Now we are giving progesterone, still it's not getting controlled. Then what do you do? How long do you give progesterone? How many months?
Um,
Hmm.
until there's a regularity of cycles, ma'am. So usually
You
three
can give it for
months.
1 year, 1.5 years.
Not sure,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. So you cannot give progesterone for a long time. Now, usually we can have a control over
Okay.
3 months. She uses
Yes,
for
ma'am.
3 cycles, it will get controlled, and she'll have a regular menstrual bleeding. Okay. In
Yes,
case
ma'am.
it's not controlled for, after 3 months, we can continue for 6 months. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, beyond 6 months, if it's not getting controlled, then we have to have a alternative drug. So, what are the other drugs used?
Ma'am, we can try giving a SERM, selective estrogen
Terms.
receptor model,
Okay, SERMs
or
can be used.
meloxicam. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, or meloxicam. Then,
Then
if a rich
Danic,
patient, she can afford any amount of money for the treatment.
you can try GnRH analogs, ma'am.
So, GnRH is very costly.
Yes,
So, we
ma'am.
can try only for patients who are
Well,
not being controlled by the regular drugs. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Progesterone is the cheapest drug available, and more cheap than that is the OC pills, which is available even in a OPD. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
OC pills can also be tried. So first choice will be your progesterone, second choice will be your OC pills, and then of course or meloxicam. Okay, but
Yes, ma'am.
danazol previously we were using, nowadays we don't use because of the androgenic side
Side
effects. Right?
effects. Yes, ma'am.
And then GnRH is quite costly.
Analogs.
The patient is very resistant, then we can go for a GnRH, right? Okay,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is about the adolescent age group. How about reproductive age group?
Reproductive age group, I would first rule out pregnancy, ma'am, if there's any
Okay, so
pregnancy related disorder.
most of the heavy menstrual bleeding is due to pregnancy complications. So
Yes,
pregnancy
ma'am.
has to be ruled out,
Ruled out.
right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
right. Then,
Then it can also be thyroid disorder or PCOD. Then any contraceptive device was used and
okay,
that caused bleeding.
yeah.
And then it can also be fibroid and adenomyosis.
Mm. Yes.
And
Ovarian
then,
tumors.
yes, ma'am, ovarian tumors and any blood coagulation
Yes,
disorders.
coagulation disorders. So all this, okay. And
Yes,
any
ma'am.
intraepithelial lesions. Nowadays we get the intraepithelial lesions early, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So endometrial, intraepithelial
Lesions.
carcinomas can also cause heavy menstrual bleeding in the late
Reproductive.
reproductive period, say around 40 to 45 years. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So what are additional investigation you want to do? All the basics we have already discussed. Okay.
Yes,
What additional investigation you want to do?
If it's a reproductive, I would do first pap smear, mom. If
Okay,
there's
yes, good. Pap smear.
and
Then,
then a bimanual pelvic examination can be done
yeah,
before.
all that we have already
Yes,
finished. We have finished of the history, we have finished of the examination, and we have come to the investigation. We have done the basic investigation. We have investigated for thyroid, anemia, and all coagulation dysfunctions and all that. What
yes,
additional
ma'am.
investigation you want to do? You wrote
Endometrial,
pap smear, yes, good. You have done
endometrial aspiration.
ultrasonogram already.
Yes,
Then,
ma'am.
then.
Endometrial aspiration can be done,
Yes,
ma'am.
so we'll go for endometrial aspiration. Now, the
Yes,
endometrial
ma'am.
aspiration you have done and it has come as inadequate specimen. We are not able to come to a diagnosis.
Then DNC, ma'am, dilatation and
Yes, so
curettage.
DNC is both diagnostic and therapeutic. Is it not?
Therapeutic.
40% of
Yes, ma'am.
the AUB can be corrected with your DNC itself,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So we can do a DNC. And what all HP reports do you expect?
It can be, we can find out the if it's proliferative or secretory and not if it's
Okay,
normal endometrium, ma'am.
okay,
And if it's abnormal, if there's any hyperplasia, we can find it by endometrium. There's simple hyperplasia and complex hyperplasia with atypia and without atypia, ma'am.
okay. So all these are the HP reports that you're going to get.
Reports.
Okay.
Yes.
If it comes as secretary, what is your management?
Um, Secretary means it's normal. It's a ovulation has occurred, ma'am. Since
Okay.
we
Okay. So how will you treat? Now she has a heavy bleeding. No, you have to treat the patient.
yes, ma'am.
So how will you treat?
Just by antifibrinolytics only, ma'am. We have to give since ovulation
Yeah.
is
So
already
yeah. So secretary endometrium indicates that the progesterone milieu, internal milieu of the patient is good.
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's why she's
In secretary phase.
yeah, secretary phase. So in those
Yes,
patients who don't go and give progesterone,
yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you'll have to only treat with you treat the
Anti.
anemia if she's anemic and then treat with antifibrinolytics,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Or if it's not controlled with your antifibrinolytics.
Um, then these CRM and all those, ma'am. We can try.
Okay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Supposing it's proliferative.
Proliferative means it's a disorder proliferative phase
So she's
because
hyperestrogenic. So
yes,
we'll
ma'am.
have to give progesterone. So
OCP, yeah,
progesterone,
ma'am.
how all will you give?
It can be for correcting anovulatory cycles, ma'am. So we have to give medroxy progesterone acetate from the 15th to 25th day or 21 days.
Okay. With that it's not controlled.
Then we can try giving a IUD, ma'am. Levonorgestrel IUD.
Yes. So you can give locally releasing progesterone containing
IUD. IUD.
Marina,
Yes, ma'am. Mirena.
levonorgestrel. Okay,
Yes.
levonorgestrel contraceptive device can be used. It helps even in contraception. Supposing she's para one live one, she wants another child, then you can have a IUCD which releases levonorgestrel. Okay,
Yes.
it will take care of the heavy menstrual bleeding and used as a contraception also. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then patient doesn't want levonorgestrel IUCD. Then what you will do? See, all the patients they might refuse or they might say, okay, is it not? See,
Yes, ma'am.
you treat with oral progesterone. If it's not getting control, then we can go for a IUCD containing progesterone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't want a progesterone containing. She doesn't want an IUCD insert. Then what you do?
We can try DNC, ma'am.
You want to try DNC? Okay. Then along with that, instead of DNC, you have any other procedure which can be used? She's completed family.
Endometrial ablation.
Yes, we can go for an endometrial ablation
Ablation.
along with Marina, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So here we have already done the DNC and P is come as proliferative phase. That is what we are discussing now, no? So you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
tried with progesterone, you have tried with, you have asked her to put a IUCD with levonorgestrel. And if she's refusing for an IUCD, then we can go for an endometrial ablation. Because it's done under anesthesia, you can have the Merino also inserted. So it will take care of the heavy menstrual bleeding.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
right? Okay. Supposing your patient is a perimenopausal woman, what all will you think of?
Perimenopausal, we have to rule out mostly pre-malignant and malignant conditions, ma'am.
Okay.
And it can
So
also be
mostly in
fibro.
addition to all the other
Others.
endocrine dysfunctions, you can have pre-malignant lesions. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are your investigations?
Um, I would also like to do a USG, ma'am, ultrasound,
Okay.
and then curettage again, ma'am, aspiration, endometrial aspiration.
Aspiration will not be that significant, no, in the perimenopausal age group, where you will have cervical stenosis and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. So what do you want to do?
Mm,
What is fractional curettage?
fractional curettage is when we suspect endometrial carcinoma, ma'am, we can do
Okay.
fractional
How is it
curettage.
different from DNC? In the reproductive age group, you do DNC.
Yes, ma'am.
How is the fractional curettage different from DNC? My God, again it's gone. என்னையா காமிக்குது எக்ஸ்பைரிலாம் காமிக்குது. Yes, doctor. How is the DNC
Yes, ma'am.
different from fractional curettage? Quick, we have power failure here.
I'm not sure, ma'am.
I'm not sure. Okay. So in DNC, we do it in the reproductive age group where we don't have suspicion of malignancy, where we'll do the
Okay.
dilatation and take the endometrial sampling to find out the type of endometrium, right?
Yes,
As we
ma'am.
told, it can be proliferative, secretive, simple hyperplasia, or complex hyperplasia with or without atypia. So these are the common things that you will get, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Whereas in the premenopausal age group, we are more suspicious of malignancy.
Malignancy.
So ectocervical carcinoma is what type of malignancy? Yes. Ectocervical malignancy is what type of malignancy?
Endometrial.
Ectocervix, cervical carcinoma.
Okay, ma'am.
What is the type of malignancy? It is squamous cell carcinoma, is it not?
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Endocervix.
Endocervix is columnar epithelium.
So it is adenocarcinoma.
Adenocarcinoma. Yes,
So
ma'am.
endometrial CA is
Endometrial is glandular cells, ma'am.
okay. So it's once again adenocarcinoma, is it not?
Adenocarcinoma. Yes,
So
ma'am.
to differentiate between these two, we'll have to do the fractional curettage, where
Okay.
we will see endocervical carcinoma is also adenocarcinoma, endometrial carcinoma is also adenocarcinoma. So in case a report comes as adenocarcinoma, we don't know exactly from where the carcinoma
Where
is
it
coming,
is.
is it not? So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
we do is, see in DNC, we'll dilate directly and take the endometrial sampling. Whereas here, we'll do the endocervical curettings, put it in a separate bottle before dilatation. Okay, we don't do the
Okay.
dilatation first. Once you dilate, what will happen? The endometrial cells from the endometrium will come into the
Come.
endocervix. Then we don't know exactly from where the carcinoma is arising, is it not? So in
Yes,
these
ma'am.
patients, we have to first do a endocervical curating, put it in a separate bottle, then
And then
dilate,
dilate.
and then take samples from the uterus.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so if the
Yes.
endocervical sample is positive, then we know it's a case of endocervical adenocarcinoma.
Carcinoma.
Okay, whereas the bottles which has the endometrial sampling is positive for adenocarcinoma, then we know it's from the uterus.
Endometrium.
So
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
the difference. So for a fractional curettage, we take the endocervical curettings first, then dilate, and then take endometrial samplings from the anterior
Uterus.
wall, the posterior wall, the fundus, the isthmus, and all that. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Depending on which sample is positive, we'll know whether it is from the endocervical adenocarcinoma or an endometrial adenocarcinoma. That is the difference between a DNC and a fractional curettage. This is very, very important. Everybody has to understand. This is asked literally for all the candidates in the exams. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
You got it, all of you all? I'm not able to see anybody, then what is the use? Can somebody repeat? Gayatri, yes. Yes. Can you tell me the difference between DNC and fractional curettage?
I mean, fractional curettage is done before dilation, ma'am. So that
Okay.
a
From where?
fractional curettage can be
From
acquired
where?
and
From where, ma?
endometrium.
Is it endometrium? What is the first thing? When you go from below, what is the first thing that will come? Huh?
Cervix.
Yeah. So,
First from the ectocervix.
doctor, from ectocervix, we can take only a biopsy. We cannot cure it. Cervix is well visualized, no? Why do you want to go and do a curate there? We take a punch biopsy, no, from the cervix. That is the last thing that we do. It will start
So
bleeding, no? Then how will you do the procedure? Yes?
endocervix. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Come on, doctor,
First,
tell me.
first from the endocervix, ma'am.
Okay, from the endocervix, then
Then the endometrial sample.
you dilate, and then the endometrial sampling. That is fractional curettage. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So how will you decide what sort of management you're going to do? Now we have done the fractional curettage.
Yes, ma'am.
It comes as simple hyperplasia.
If it's a simple hyperplasia, we can only 1%, I mean, a very less percent goes for endometrial cancer. So we can first try with Mirena, IUD.
We can try progesterone itself, okay? But you have to review the patient every 6 months and be very
We have to
watchful.
check
You have to
if,
tell the patient that she has to come for frequent monitoring. Only
yes,
then we
ma'am.
can put them on progesterone, right?
Yes, ma'am. And if it's with atypia, we have to advise hysterectomy, ma'am, because the progression to cancer increases with atypia, ma'am.
Okay. So if what is corpus cancer syndrome?
Corpus cancer syndrome is obesity, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, and endometrial
So,
carcinoma,
so
ma'am.
if you have any of these risk factors with
You have to,
hyperplasia, we'll
yes,
have to decide on a hysterectomy rather than a
hysterectomy.
medical management and follow up. Okay.
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
for low risk cases we can have all this treatment. In our country, follow up is very, very less. Okay, the
Yes,
patient
ma'am.
will be on irregular treatment. Anytime she can have a carcinoma. So we don't want to take the risk. So any patient with obesity, diabetes, hypertension, along with a hyperplasia.
Atypia. Yes,
Even if
ma'am.
it is simple, sometimes we tend to do a hysterectomy. And
Okay.
for complex with or without atypia, we if one of these risk factors are present, we'll go for a hysterectomy. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then postmenopausal. The postmenopausal
Postmenopausal.
bleeding itself is a topic on its own. Okay. We
Yes,
have so
ma'am.
many causes. What are the causes? Quickly tell me what are the causes?
It can be cancer cervix, ma'am,
Yeah, cancer cervix, then cancer
and any,
endometrium.
yeah, yes, ma'am. Can be any cervical growth. If there's present, it can be postmenopausal bleeding, ma'am.
Okay.
Then carcinoma of endometrium. If there's any
Senile
with
endometritis. More than that, senile, and that's why endometrial thickness is very important. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So, what is pathological in the postmenopausal women?
In postmenopausal, anything above 4 millimeter is pathological.
Yes. So, anything more than 4, we have to evaluate. Okay.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
the risk of CA endometrium is more. But
More.
sometimes even senile endometritis is a common cause of postmenopausal bleeding. And then all the other causes like a fibroid or a polyp or whatever it is there can
Yes, ma'am.
cause postmenopausal bleeding. But mostly we are more in terms of oncological problems, right? It can be a CA
Yes, ma'am.
cervix or a CA endometrium or a CA fallopian tube, though it's very rare. Sometimes feminizing ovarian tumors, is it not?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
senile endometritis and all the other benign diseases like polyp and fibroids, right?
Okay.
All this can cause postmenopausal bleeding, and the evaluation is going to be the same: the ultrasonogram and a speculum examination to rule out to look out for the cervix, the pap
So,
smear, the colposcopy, and fractional curettage. Okay,
okay.
right, right. Any doubts you can ask. No doubts. Everything is clear. So everything about endometrial ablation can be asked. Can be asked as a short notes also. Okay.
Okay.
Thermal ablation is the commonest thing that we use here. Though
Yes.
laser and all that is available, thermal ablation is becoming much of a use now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So no doubts. Okay. So we have slides here. Your rep will be just going through the slides and he'll be reading it out for you. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can always ask.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Just read the slides.